So what are we doing today?
So we're at our
Flavor?
yeah, our flavor of crab. We're at our favorite crabbing hole in the general Fort Lauderdale area.
Yeah,
We haven't been here for a while,
in a long time.
right?
Yeah.
You know, and we're gonna bring you along and show you what we do, what our process is to crabbing.
Blue crabs, to be specific.
Right, and we're in a river.
Yeah.
To be noted.
Alright guys, welcome back to our channel. We are happy that you came along for this next vlog.
And those of you that are new, thank you for joining us.
Be sure to click that subscribe button so that you can follow all of our RV life journeys and then some. So, as we mentioned earlier, we came to catch some blue crabs here in South Florida. We would come here a lot back in the day. Blue crabs though are nocturnal, and as you see, it's daylight.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a new experience for us.
Right.
We used to come here, I would say somewhere between 11 o'clock at night, and we'd stay till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
But there are new condos or townhomes or whatever that were recently built here, so now they've been enforcing this being closed after sundown.
Right.
We've actually come back a few months ago to do our nighttime routine, and
we're booted out.
we're booted out. So
they were very nice.
The
police,
cop was
the
very nice.
Oakland Park police came and asked us to pick up
Yeah.
our stuff. They stayed with us until we picked everything up.
Yeah,
they were very curious,
with the blue
about
crabs.
what we were doing, what the crabs looked like, and how many we caught and all that.
Yeah.
So they were very, very nice. And it was way before COVID that this happened.
Way before, yeah.
But like Angie said, there's a new development that they built right next to this, but it's a tiny park, by the way.
Yeah, super.
And they're enforcing the, after hours, hanging out, crabbing, fishing, etc.
Right. So today we still decided to come a little bit earlier, cross our fingers, see if we do catch anything. We did throw in our
Cage, our crab cage.
Yeah, and the cage has been pretty successful for us. Not like a huge amount of catches. We bought
Right.
that cage in Walmart.
We did.
And Lou typically drops it in one side of the dock because
Right.
there's 2 docks here.
There's 2 sides to the dock. Yeah.
And then we always come to the other side of the dock, and that's where we do the chicken on a rope.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And
The cage requires a lot of patience.
yeah,
It requires setting it off, crossing your fingers, and coming back hours later. The chicken on a stick keeps you on a rope. Sorry, the chicken on a rope keeps you entertained. You throw it in, you wait, 8 to 10 minutes, 12 minutes. You go and you check it. You might have a crab in. So that keeps you entertained for the hours that you have to wait to really bring the crab cage back up.
Right.
So I
That
think
was more like instant gratification.
right, exactly.
Once it's time to head out because the sun has gone down, we'll come back later on tonight and pick up that cage and
Right.
show you what we've got there. And hopefully we have a lot
Exactly.
of crabs.
I'm usually the one eating them, and she's interested in catching them and killing them.
Yeah, well,
Not really.
cleaning them
And
then
making
cooking
them. And I'm interested in eating them.
Yeah, Lou loves eating them. I lose my patience.
Yeah.
I'm like a beef type of girl, so I want to sit down and have my hearty piece of meat, not
Right.
sit there and like break it up and get a little tiny bite here and there. So
I'm all about
she
seafood. So for
loves
me, it's
it.
worth it.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
So yeah, today it's all about catching these crabs and cleaning the crabs. So
Let's get to it.
let's start pulling out our first rope and see if there's something there. Let's talk about what we have here. We have our crab cage, which has a rope tied to it, and you'll see inside there are these claws. Those are the claws that I use to grab the crabs. You'll see here that we have some chicken, drumsticks, got at Aldi's, pretty inexpensive, $4.16. Hand sanitizer, bug spray, and paper towels. We've got ropes. The rope is going to be for the chicken on the rope, which you'll see in a second, as well as replacing the rope on there so that it can camouflage more. Get rid of that yellow, replace it with black, and then a Tupperware. We usually have a bigger one than this, but it wasn't empty right now, so we're going to go with this one. That is what's going to hold our crabs. And then our chairs, some refreshments, and that's it. Well, I've got you here getting that rope with the chicken, Can you tell me like where you learned of this concept? Because I didn't know of this until you.
Chicken on a rope. Oh yeah, I learned it here actually. We came here one day because I like coming to this dock, I guess, and I saw a fishing wire that was just like lingering in the light across. Now I wanted to know where it went to, so I grabbed it. I shouldn't have grabbed it because obviously it belonged to someone, but I was curious, so I grabbed it and I started pulling on it, and then all of a sudden at the end there was a chicken, a drumstick, and there was a crab attached to it. And I was like, oh my god, they're leaving it here and they're coming back to get the crab.
Right.
So I did a little more research and I found out that chicken on a rope is a thing.
I think once upon a time we also had a downstairs neighbor, if I remember correctly, his name was Bubba.
Yeah.
That he used to come home with like buckets full of crab.
Right, but I have no idea
How he caught
I
them.
have no idea.
He'd always ask us if we wanted to buy, and we're like, where does this guy get those crabs from?
Yeah.
And then eventually we learned.
It was kind of tricky. I was like, I don't know if I want to eat crab. I don't know how you're catching it or with what, so I was kind of like taking a little back.
So you're just tying the rope around the chicken?
Yeah, I'm going to do a couple of different knots just to make sure we don't lose it. Even though this one is defrosted, when it is frozen, obviously the chicken is going to get skinnier and it might slide off your rope. So you need to, make a couple of good ties. I just do it because, I'm paranoid. So, and this rope has like 3 threads in it. So I kind of like make like a little, I don't know what to call it, of something. And then I just tie it again to make sure that it's tied firmly.
And just a tip, you guys, I mean, we won't be doing this because now we're in a tiny space, but before, when we were in apartments, we wouldn't throw this chicken away. We'd stick it back in the freezer, I mean, really tight, really well in a bag, because we don't want all this nastiness to spread. But the grosser the chicken is,
yeah, the more attractive it is.
The more attractive it is to the crab. So if this were to be our second, third, fourth attempt using the same chicken, it would actually attract more crabs than it's going to today.
Yep.
Eventually we end up getting rid of it because it's just too nasty to keep dealing with. But yeah, the stinkier the meat, the grosser the meat, the more attention it's going to get. So there we go. Let me pan out of her closing it up, and that's it.
That's it. So we just lost that crab, and it occurred to me like, yeah, we used to do this with the net. And Lou told me that she did bring it. It was in the car. I didn't even see it. So I just came back from the car, got our little nets. So when Lou starts pulling up that chicken, all I have to do is put the net underneath, and when the crab decides to lick it, it falls right in the net. So we're set. chicken on a rope escapade. We caught.
She kept
Trying
pawing
again.
me.
We caught 5 with chicken on a rope, and we lost 2. But we do have 5 that Angie's going to show you one of the processes that can be used to prepare for cooking.
Right, right. All right, so this is the 5 little crabs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And everybody's alive.
Everyone's alive. They're just... She's moving. And yes, when I say she, I mean she. And I will discuss, I'll show you how to determine which ones are boys and which ones are girls. First things first, get a pot of water boiling. Okay, so the most common method used in restaurants and all is basically boiling the crab. They basically cross that rainbow bridge as soon as they hit that boiling water. Unlike lobsters, they're not going to scream, so don't freak out. It's going to go fast. So let's go ahead and grab one. I use these claws to grab them, and then I just put them in the water. So let's get the first one. You'll see that they're going to fight with me. So they're all kicking and ready to go. Oh, they're grabbing onto each other already. He's like, let me go. All right. So we've got 2. Get me over here. There we go. And in he goes. Oh no, he doesn't want to let go. You see him in the water? So this part is going to go really fast. Basically, once you see that they've turned all red, and it happens within a couple of minutes, literally, they're cooked through. And this is very important. Don't ever decide you want to catch crabs and then put them in your freezer so that you can cook them another day. Because once they pass, they basically start letting out a lot of bacteria in their body, and the meat is kind of like poisoned and messed up, and you'll get very sick. So you have to put them to sleep and cook them immediately. And for example, if we don't eat these today, which we probably won't, you have to at least boil them, and then you're ready to freeze them at that point so that you can cook them anytime you want. So tip number 1. 2, I forgot to show you the claws. I wanted to show you the difference between the girls and the boys. I'll see after they're cooked if it shows. Probably not, because once they're cooked, they're all red. The tips of the claws, if they're red, they're a girl. So the way to think about that is girls like to paint their nails. So if you see the tips of the claws red, it's a girl. If the claws are blue, like the rest of the crab, it's a boy. The second way of telling is the bottom part of the crab, and I will show you that now when we get to cleaning them. I'm going to go ahead and throw out this water, take out the crab, and show you how to open these babies up and clean them up. These babies are going to be very hot, so definitely wait for them to cool down. So first off, you'll notice when you dump out your crab into the sink to get rid of all that water, you're going to see a lot of the legs by themselves. Don't fret, that is a like fight or flight mechanism. When a crab feels they're in danger, they release their leg automatically, and in this case, you know, they released all of them before they crossed the rainbow bridge. So first off, we want to thank these crabs for their life. They're going to give us a nice meal, these and the next one. So thank you, blue crabs. Alright, so let's move on. Here is one of the crabs. And as you see, here he has already released their legs. And when you flip them around, this is how you tell whether it's a boy or a girl. Do you guys know? Alright, quiz over. So when it's rounded like this, it is a female. So this one is a girl. You would have seen the tips of these claws red prior to grabbing her and flipping her around. But if you couldn't do that, that's the other way of telling. It's right here. So, alright, so now that we've determined the sex, you want to grab this baby and you want to press down on the back legs if they're still available, And this little sharp point, we're going to lift it up from here. So we're going to hold down the back legs. We're going to put this here. I'm going to put my palm on the other half of the crab, and up we go. And usually I get one smooth crack, I guess because I'm doing it on camera. That didn't happen. I'm going to do the same on the other half. This is what's known as the mustard. A lot of people like eating this inside. We're not fans, so that would not be eaten for us. Let's go ahead and move these shells to the side. And this white part here, that's their gills. Not so appetizing either, so we want to remove these gills. Put it with the shell on each side. In addition to that top shell and the gills, we want to pull out their eyeballs. Alright, now that the eyeball's done, I like to crack this baby in half. Some people just go ahead and eat this now to make our eating experience more pleasurable. This would be the next phase of what I'll do. Actually, before I crack her in half, we need to remove this part here. So get something sharp like a knife to lift it up. And this is where they would hold their eggs, the females. She's not holding any eggs, so no babies. Grab that, pull it out, and here we go. At this point, you can either break it in half with your hands, or you can do it with a knife. Now it's in half. Look at all this crab meat right there. So delicious. The next phase is rinsing them out. Unless you want that mustard, then leave it alone. But we rinse it out. So I'm just going to put this to the side. Do one more really quick for you guys. And we'll move on to the sink and clean her up. This one's a boy. You see the difference? How it sticks out, long and skinny, not completely round. So this one's a boy. Now that we've got these 5 crabs already, broken up and split, I'm going to go ahead and wash these out under the sink. We might get a lot of noise from the water running, so just bear with me. Basically, what we're doing is rinsing it out to get all of this mustard out and any remaining guts that you'll see. So let's get this running. Nice and clean. So there is all your crab meat that you will enjoy, plus the little teeny bits of meat that are inside of these claws. Let's continue cleaning a few more and moving right along. Okay guys, so easy as that process is done. You can either go ahead and start cooking them now, which I suggest waiting until tomorrow, because tomorrow will be our first Foodie Fridays and I will be making garlic crabs. Anyways, or you can freeze them if you plan on eating them in a couple of weeks or in a couple of months or whatever, or if you want to just gather and save until you have a big batch, freeze them until you have more, or stick them in the fridge if you plan on eating it in the next couple of days. That's what I'm going to do now, because I doubt after we pick up the cage around who knows what time it'll be, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll see how long I can hang. Lou can hang for like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I usually get tired by 11, but I'm going to try to push myself. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and stick these in a Ziploc bag and stick them in the fridge so that I can save them and wait until we do the same process with the ones from the cage. So see you guys then. Bye. Alright guys, so we hope you enjoyed us out crabbing and cleaning those crabs. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a big thumbs up. Comment down below on your thoughts on this process and post your questions if you have any down below as well. We'd love to answer them in the next Q&A.
If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe now. Make sure you hit the notification bell, that way you can get notified every time we upload a video. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye guys! Yeah, so if you like this video, as I was trying to say before when I got cut like through myself a squirrel with the food Friday, I should probably say that out loud again.
Yeah.
I'm delirious. I'm super delirious. Alright guys, so we are closing this out. We hope you enjoyed us out catching crabs and catching crabs. Yeah. We're doing.